day. It's breezy, it's a little brisk, but otherwise, very good day here in mid-March for some softball. As Utah is getting ready to run out a pretty similar lineup as had happened yesterday. Siani Sakai is going to lead off, still in left field, hitting 208 toward the fence. And Kennedy had to jump up and pull it down a little bit, but I don't know if it was going to have the elevation to get out otherwise. Still a good swing to finish yesterday's ballgame from Capobianco. Jolie Mayfield hitting 294 as the cleanup third baseman. Had a pretty good day at third, initiating a double play to end an Arizona threat. A pretty good swing in the first inning, sent one to the warning track in center field. But such was Utah's day that we are reflecting on some of these loud outs that they had on only a couple of good swings from the Utes a day prior. Kendall Lundberg, great day behind the plate. She's hitting seventh as a catcher. He's hitting 132 on the season. Haley White, leadoff hitter here in the opening frame with the shadows already creeping toward the circle and creeping up the third baseline. Jenna Sniffen, likewise over at first, Devin Netz coming up the line as this one's off speed and a little bit out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike now to Sakai as we'll set the Arizona defense going left to right. Already mentioned Sniffen at third. The latter as Maddox evened up, now ready's a 2-2 offering. That's again nibbling at the outside corner. Sakai watches that one bend wide, runs the count full. With 2 strikes, the corner infielders back off a little bit as the payoff pitch going toward the outside part of the plate, but misses wide. Now a ball and a strike. Wildcats have Nets over at first where Stoddard was yesterday when Devin was in the circle. Stoddard seems to be ready to come on in relief as the Cats trying to see what they can get out of Maddox. This time this one running away from the plate, and she's down to the Bianco with nobody aboard and 2 out here in the top half of the first. There's no score as her first pitch runs away from the righty. 1-0 to Emily Capobianco, who's hitting 188 on the year. Still looking for her first extra base hit. Hitting out of the 3-hole is this one again. To a 3-ball count. She was down 2-0 to Capobianco. Now watches this one miss wide. And she is aboard with Maddox issuing her 10th walk on the season. Wildcats only had a couple of free passes yesterday. One of them coming after missed. Down go the Utes in the first. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left on. And after half an inning, it's Utah nothing, and the Wildcats coming up in Arizona softball and Arizona Sports Enterprises. Second is home plate umpire Jen Bertuzzi had hopped back and started playing. So I believe all of the infielders, save for Nelson at first, are on the left side of the infield as the first pitch is a shown bunt from Shockey. She pulls it back and takes ball 1. Shaded into left center and left field are Lee and Sakai. Sakai really close to the line. Nets yesterday, part of the meat of the Arizona order that did almost all, if not all, of the damage against a couple of Utah pitchers, as this is a big moment in the ball game after the Utes were able to get a runner aboard with a 2-out walk, but nothing more. Center and left center again is Nets, with everybody moving back, particularly on the left side. Awaits a 3-1 offering from Estretti as it swung on and grounded into center field. Kennedy is being waved home. Here comes the throw. It's going to be wide up the first baseline and then kicks away from Lundberg, allowing Altmaier and Nets. Screaming double that came after Stewart had started the second inning with a walk. And then a big home run as this one moves away from her, kicks again away from Lundberg, but Nets is not going to try and ramble. One and 0. Ball 4 being announced a little bit late, as that's actually ball 5. 4-pitch walk to Stoddard, who's over at first, and now Sniffen ahead 1-0. Off speed, looking for the outside corner, catches it. She was taken all the way. Taylor Beal and then Kiki Escobar awaiting. Heading into the second inning, the Cats lead 2-0 as Utah is ready to send Posse, Lee, and Lundberg to the plate. Utes sent 4 up in the first as Maddox And again looking for the outside corner, but this is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. A year ago, Posse was a member of the Pac-12's All-Freshman. That year she hit .256 with 10 extra base hit homers as this one pulled foul. Came to Utah as the 28th ranked national recruit. As the 1-1 is on the way, she keeps her hands back as that misses above the belt. 2 balls and a strike. But Mastretti was likewise getting squeezed on both corners. And really the only thing one could ask for is some consistency. Is the left side right now really battling the sun on a relatively clear day. This one swung on and looped into left field. It's going to fall between Beal and Kennedy. Quickly thrown back into second base to make sure that she can't catch up to it. It's now evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The exact opposite of the Wildcats starter. She has only allowed 4 walks thus far as she makes you put the ball in play. And now readies a 2-2 pitch to Ortiz, who shows bunt and then is able to slap that one back to the screen. Keep the count at 2 out, 2 strike base hit from Sakai, and have now halved the Wildcat lead 2-1. Lee comes around and scores. Lundberg held up at third. White takes second, and now the first pitch is Ute freshman Hurler has been working from behind in the count here throughout her first inning plus of work. Is the 1-0 this time on the outside corner, but low. 2 balls and no strikes to Taylor Beal, who was 2 for 3 in a midweek game against Utah State, but 0 for 2 yesterday. And she's trying to get the coming up. That is scored an error on Mayfield, who had crashed up the third baseline and thrown that right into the traffic there at first base with the hard-charging Escobar and White trying to cover. And she's taken all the way, and that one misses outside. This inning started with a walk. Taylor Beal came around and scored 1 pitch later. Now Kennedy gets aboard with a 5-pitch walk. Keeps the count at 1-2. What's going to be most interesting is if this results in a play at second with the left fielder Sakai, who seems to be tasked to try to get over to second as the 1-2 pitch is taken outside. Kennedy will take second, and now Altmaier, who was able to hit her way aboard, a base hit into center field. He's going to come up with runners at first and second and just 1 out. Most of the left side of the infield has now been overtaken by the shadows. Make sure that all of her digits are okay on that right hand. Runners at second and third, 1 out. And Nets with an opportunity here as the Cats lead 4-1. But Utah has had all sorts of activity on the base path. Lontley tags up, but you can watch her now as she starts running in, has to avoid Nets' bat. Stewart had also dropped hers back toward the on-deck circle as there's 2 outs, and Stewart is up there with a runner at third. Cats have plated 3 here in the second and now lead 5-1. Haul it in to retire that one in both the 5th inning and over the course of the ball game. Is that one trying to move away from her, but Capobianco takes it outside for ball 1. 1-1, and she's now hitting 188, hit just 120 a year ago as this one's in the dirt. So with nobody aboard and 1 away, Jolie Mayfield, who had struck out to end the first. Wildcats only had 2 strikeouts yesterday. They already have 2 today. The second of those was the first batter that Stoddard had faced. She struck out Ortiz with the bases full. She starts Mayfield off a little bit low on the right side, not a play. Evens it up though, 1-1, 1 out, nobody's on. Utah has put a run across for the second time in as many innings. And now trails 5-2. As Stoddard winds and deals this one way outside. I don't know if that was not deflected, if it was going to hang up long enough for Shockey to get underneath it, but it was really well hit. And Shockey has been able to make up an awful lot of ground with an unbelievable quickness. But you also king the wristband is now dealing an 0-1 as Escobar takes that one. Whoa! That one on the outside corner for strike one. Beg your pardon, strike two. That's the first time though that pitch has been called a strike yet. And now 0-2, Mastretti deals. That one called, who yesterday extended her hitting streak to 13. She's able to now make it 14. It's going to probably make it a two-run game. Is the 1-0 outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Kayla Nelson. Who's hitting .314, .250 with runners in scoring position. Bottom of the fourth inning, the Wildcats sending up the top of the order, leading 5-2. Left center and just past a diving Lee as Kennedy's already rounding first and going to stand up at second with a leadoff double. That one came off the end of the bat and hung up there, giving Lee a chance, and she left it all on the field, but just beyond her grasp, the Wildcats with a runner in scoring position. But that one was just left of the bag. So we'll say 6-3, because that keeps the score sheet looking a little bit more streamlined than if it were, say, 7-3. Moved Kennedy over to third, and here's Altmaier. And after 4, extend the lead out 6-2. It's Arizona Softball, Arizona Sports Enterprises. Third is now the 0-1 pitch. Is hit to the right side and is going to find right field. Espiau takes a look at her coach. Quickly brought in by Altmaier, though, as everybody was wise to just go station to station there. And the Utes are once again in business. Arms look really cool on TV, but these numbers are sure a bit hard to see. This is going to be Haley Dieter. Dieter had a base hit yesterday. Just facing Dieter, who has a hit thus far in the series. She's hitting .308 with runners in scoring position, .333 with 2 out, 400. Silva with a tough out as the first pitch is fouled back to the screen for strike one. But looks like she is going to have an opportunity against a new pitcher. As the Wildcats lead 7-2, there's no out in the fifth. And a new Utah pitcher is coming out. We'll have her for you after this. It's Arizona Softball on Arizona. The move out of the pen to bring Carrion out to replace Mastretti. Carrion went 1 2/3 yesterday, gave up a run on 2 hits, also walked a player and struck another out. Wildcat lead is 7-2. From right here in the old Pueblo, has a homer and 5 RBIs as well, is right now trying to bring in Tagalog at third as the 1-0 is very high. Tagalog's going to give it a shot as it got by Lundberg as she's able to slide in safely. Lever with a play, and now the Utes firmly in business. That's a tough play, but it's probably going to be scored an error. Indeed, E6 gets Ortiz to first. And here's Sakai. 1 for 3 today, but a line drive that sent Dakota Kennedy to the left field wall to end things in the 5th inning. And that 8-0 game, the Wildcats forced to go into a 6th here, leading 6. And now the Utes again making noise as the 1-2 pitch is on the way and fouled on the left field line. Spins, deals, again tries to get Capobianco to lunge at 1 on the outside, but she's got the sharp eye and makes the count full. Mayfield, who has homered, is due up next. The payoff pitch. High and outside for ball 4. Combination of a total of 15 infielders in her 3 at-bats, and one would imagine that it's going to be more of the same as the 3-1 comes to Kennedy, and that one's bouncing well in front of the plate. Second time that Dakota has walked. She is aboard with Shockey now watching as every Wildcats have not been able to miss many Utah bats today or yesterday as the 1-1 pitch shows bunt, catches the outside corner for strike 2. Today, now 4 Arizona pitchers have only struck out 3 Utah batters. Yesterday, it was only 2. But unlike yesterday, the Utes have been able to get some pretty solid contact. That's how you get the 6 runs across. Racy Miranda. No, it's not. It's Kayla Leone. Is it? I can't see these numbers. It is Lee.